Greetings to all my fellow watch enthusiasts on YouTube and Facebook and wherever else this video is being seen and shared. It's Lean Driver once again, bringing you a unboxing and review of a pair of watches, actually, that are not mine. Once again, these are watches that were loaned into the channel. These were loaned in by my good buddy Chris. He of the Watch Lounge YouTube channel, which I will leave a link to that channel in the description, as well as a link to the company that makes these watches, MMI. I say that there is a pair of watches to review here because I was sent a pair of watches and they are so similar in specification that other than obviously the colorway, which you'll see in a minute between the two of them, and the movement, they're so similar that it does not really make sense to make two videos where I can just do one video and be done with it. These are, as I said, these are watches from a new micro brand called MMI. These watches, as I make this video, it is midway through February of 2021. The way I do videos is I make them, I edit them, and then I stack them. So this video will probably come out sometime in March of 2021. These watches are in pre-order status as I make this video, and they are expected to start shipping in May of 2021, according to the company website. Now, of course, that is subject to change for various reasons. These watches, therefore, are pre-production prototypes. I'm led to believe that they are fairly close to the way the production watches will look, but of course they are prototypes, so things can and may in fact change, although I'm led to believe that this is pretty close to the way things will be. Now, these watches came to me in this very nice suede watch roll with a tassel of some sort. Very nice. They didn't come with a box. They didn't come with any paperwork. So I don't know if this is going to be the final packaging. But you know what? If it was this inside of a box of some kind, that would be pretty good because this has a very nice feel to it. It's good lining on the inside. It's fairly soft, and it would work. I mean, it works for Zelos, right? I mean, watch roll inside of a box is kind of a Zelos thing forever. You see the MMI logo on here. Looks like a power switch, power on-off button kind of thing. And we have the two. Now in here we have links from one of the watches. And inside the pouch we have the two watches. These are the MMI Turret line. I'll get to that in a minute. You are looking at the Midnight Blue, in this case the No Date Midnight Blue, and the Polaris White Date Diver. Really both nice watches. I mean, they have excellent heft to them. They do not feel cheap at all. Really nice bezel action. You know, has a good tone to it. Easy to turn, but not too easy. Even on the prototype, everything lines up. There's a little bit of back movement initially, but after it, you move it back once, it actually doesn't really move back. It just kind of settles in and is nice and solid. Same with the white one. Same noises. Same nice, easy feel to it. Again, lines up beautifully and no slop. Has a nice coin edge to it. You can see the blue one also has the same bezel. Like I said, these watches are pretty much the same watch except for the colorway and the dial. The indices are on both of them are applied indices. They're both similar styles. It's just obviously one is a different colorway from the other. This being a no date, you can see is a very clean dial. Whereas this one with date function is it does the date function in a very interesting and I think very clean manner. You can see instead of a window at the 3 or the 4 or the 3 or the 4 or the 6 o'clock or wherever, it's actually a dial or an inner ring of 1 through 31 going around like this. And if you look right there, since I'm shooting this on February 11th, you can see the 11, under the 11 is a little sliver of red. And that's your date indicator. It's very, very clean, does not take away from the aesthetic of the watch. It allows you to have full indices at all points. You don't have a half indice or a missing indice at the 3 or the 4 or the 5 or the 6 or wherever someone wants to stick the thing. And it just gives the dial a very clean look. Both cases, as you can see, are the same, so I'm pretty much going to stop holding one up and just go with the other. I'll switch them out, but they have the same case style, which is a very angular, brushed case, all stainless, of course. They have the same clasp, as you can see, signed on the underside. It's a double lock, fold over with a twin push button deploy, milled clasp. Very, very typical for a micro brand, very good quality. The bracelet is not a jingle jangle bracelet. It's very solid. It uses I don't know if it uses screws or not. Yep, uses screws. Okay, screws in. Links. It has 5 micro adjust positions on the clasp, so it's really easy to find a size for you. This was sized for someone a little different than me, so it's a little tight. I mean, you know, it's tight on me. I mean, I'd put one link back and it would be perfect, but I'm not going to bother sizing it back. And it fits beautifully across my 7¼ inch wrist. This thing obviously was sized for a 7-inch wrist, so it's a little uncomfortable. You know, but I'm only going to wear it for a few seconds. So if I put one link back into this watch, it would fit just perfectly. I mean, between the screwed in removable links and 5 micro adjust points on the clasp, if you can't find a size for this bracelet, you should seek medical attention. I mean, you've got a problem with your wrist. So, and it's very easy to wear. It's not a delicate watch by any stretch. There is some heft to it, but it's not so heavy that you couldn't wear this all day and be very comfortable in it. Just a very, very nice pair of watches. Obviously, they're doing a good job. The reason they're called turrets is the watch design was inspired, according to the website, by the turret design of the USS Monitor, which, if you remember your American history, was the first U.S. Navy ironclad. You remember the famous Battle of the Monitor and the Merrimack, the Merrimack being the Confederate States of America's ironclad, and they basically, I believe, fought to a draw. But it was the first battle between ironclad warships in world history. If I remember my world history correctly and my U.S. history. So the turret design is what inspired the folks that make these watches. You can see on the dive bezel, and these are diver watches, you can see the water resistance of 300 meters. That means that these are diver watches. Of course, when you screw the crown down, which the threads engage very easily, and it, very easy engagement. The first 20 minutes of the die bezel have minute segments, and then after that they're marked at every 5-minute intervals. The movements that come with these things, we'll get to that in a minute, and there are different movements. They all are hand wind, they all hack, so you can set to a reference time, and the screw down crown, as I said, is very easy to unwind and wind, or screw in, screw out. Little crown guards here, not very big, they're not very obtrusive, but I guess they'll do the job. Maybe would like to see them a little bigger, but then again, if they were bigger, the downside of that would be you'd have a hard time grabbing it. But with the knurling on the crown, it's very easy to get a hold of. So, let's do the information, the sheet of facts here about these two watches. Now, as I said, these are the MMI turret. This is the polar white with date. That part number is TR9-DV, Delta Vega. This is the TR2-OR, the midnight blue with no date. I don't know, the letters might mean something. I don't know. Date version, DV, date version, OR, or something. Or, I don't know, whatever R stands for. I don't know. Anyway, they're both 40 meter. I do that all the time, don't I? 40 millimeter diameter cases. They're both 47 millimeter on the tip to tip. They're both 13.8 millimeters thick. Both have 22 millimeter lugs. All those measurements came from the MMI website. They are both 300 meter water resistant full dive watches. They are 316L stainless steel cases, bracelets, and clasps. They both have flat sapphire crystals. They both have steel insert bezels, steel bezel inserts, sitting on top of 120 click bezels. The main difference between the two watches is the movement. The white one here is an NH35 Seiko, obviously with the date function available. The blue one is a Swiss movement. This is a Saletta, SW200-1 Swiss movement. Both movements obviously are very, very common. This one being basically an ETA movement. The Seiko movement obviously needs no explanation from anyone who's familiar with watches. Both are going to be easy to service down the line. I've started talking about this aspect lately because, you know, it seems like there's a lot of movement snobbery out there, and how could you pay so much money for, you know, a Seiko movement and everything, and those guys never seem to take into consideration the down the line cost of keeping one of these things going when they fail. And being a man-made item, they can and will and do fail. As I said, these watches are pre-production prototypes. These are both serial number 1 of, I believe, 300 total production in these colorways. I don't know if that's going to be the total production when they go, when they finally start shipping. But they are both considered to be pre-production prototypes. And they are expected to start shipping these watches in May of 2021. You can pre-order these watches on the MMI website with the link down below in the comments section. Let's see. So basically the only difference between these two watches as you see them here is the colorway and the movement. This one being a Swiss movement, this one being a Japanese movement. I have watches with both movements. I've had very little problems with any watch with either one of these movements. Truth be known, if I'm honest, one watch with a NH35 failed me and was easily fixed locally for not much money. I've had two watches, two different watches with SW200s in them that had problems with the winding mechanism, and both were replaced under warranty with new movements, new winding mechanisms, and sent back to me with no problems. And I haven't had any problems with those watches since then. So the SW200, by my empirical data, is a little more problematic than the NH35, but I've had very little problems with movements, with watches with these movements in them compared to some of my other watches with much higher end in-house calibers from other makers that have given me nothing but grief in one or two cases. And only just recently have I gotten them back, and they've been working consistently and accurately for a good length of time. So again, I like to talk to my viewers about this thing because this is a unfortunately little talked about aspect of owning a watch, which is maintaining it. Because every watch needs service, whether it's a Timex or whether it's a Patek Philippe. They all need to be taken apart and reserviced and re-oiled and recalibrated. As far as you want to take it. I don't think you'd probably do that for a Timex, but you damn sure would do it for a Patek or a Ulysses Nardin or an FP Journe or a JLC, that kind of ilk, Rolex, Omega, Tudor, what have you. So I think these are two fantastic watches. I think that it's a hell of a deal. Either way, obviously the Seiko movement one is going to be less expensive than the Swiss one, the Solita. But they're both really good value for money. They're both been keeping excellent time. I've been keeping an eye on them for several days. I just wind them up, keep wound, and they keep excellent time. They both represent really good value for money, and I would definitely recommend that you, if you're in the market for a really good-looking, relatively inexpensive diver, I definitely suggest giving MMI a look. I don't think you'll be disappointed. So links down below, so go give them a click. Anyway, I'm going to wrap the video on that point as definitely a recommend. Definitely recommend giving them a look, and I even think giving them a buy. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you found it informative, useful, entertaining. If you did, I would appreciate clicking that thumbs up button. Doing that will help me with respect to the YouTube algorithms. The search algorithms are partially driven by likes on a video. If a video gets a lot of likes, they are more likely to appear in YouTube searches. And the more likes a video get, the higher up in those searches the video will appear. So giving me a like helps draw people to the channel. Questions, comments, and suggestions all down below, please. I do read them all. I do respond to them all. However, if you are going to leave links in my comments section that take my viewers to bad places on the internet, I am going to delete the comment and I'm going to block the commenter. Likewise, if you are going to be a nasty little troll, and God knows I have plenty of you, and you're going to leave me, garbage comments that reflect the content of your garbage minds, I'm going to, again, delete the comment and block the commenter. That's the way it works around here. If you're a new viewer to my channel, of course, welcome. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you found the place. Feel free to look around. I have lots and lots of videos on lots and lots of different subjects. Lots and lots of watch videos, all kinds of other things. All I ask is that before you leave, please click the subscribe button. I am trying to get my channel to 2,000 subscribers. It's a slow slog upward, but it's happening. So if you would click that subscribe button, that would be wonderful. And when you do, click the bell icon so that when I go live, which I do every Wednesday at 3 o'clock Eastern Time, or at other times during the week when time and opportunity permit. And of course, when I upload new content, you will be alerted to these things so that you can come over and partake. Meanwhile, I will, of course, bid you well. Stay healthy. Be careful out there. And I will see you very soon.